Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you got something out of that thing from yesterday. The would you rather? So, when I thought about it at first, I was like, well, of course, I'd want $1 million today. But then when you start to go through the math, I forget what day it was. Let me get my little notes out. By the time I got to, by the time I got to the 20th day, or the 21st day, by day 21, I was already getting over $1 million plus all of the days that came before it. So definitely would be better to take $1, then two, then four, then eight, then 16, and so forth. Then over the course of 1 month, then get a million at once. So hopefully you got that same thing. So just on this whole idea of retirement, we're going to move on tomorrow or our next class to talk about what kind of retirement plans there are. There's all kinds of stuff. There's 401ks, there's Roth IRAs, there's stocks, and all kinds of stuff that you can invest in. Even people invest in like real estate. But I thought we would do one more day of talking about some of the basics and then having you fill in a couple of questions. So why are so many Americans failing to save for retirement? So I'm going to go through this article with you a little bit. And a lot of it did come up in the very first day, but we're going to talk about it again. Because one of the things it refers to is the whole would you rather have $1 million today or a dollar and two, four, and so on every day. So most people fail to save for retirement because they procrastinate. Like we said before, when you're young, it's hard to believe you're going to retire anytime soon. So you think, I'm not even going to worry about it. But the younger you start, the better. So check this out. I thought this was amazing. Let's see if I can. Yeah. So for instance, if you start saving only 200, whoa, gosh, stop doing that. Only $260 a month at the age of 20 and obtain the average rate of return of 7%. So that means that's about what people end up making when they invest properly. By the time you are 65, you will have over $1 million. Over $1 million if you start putting away $260 a month at the age of 20. Now that can be pretty hard to do. Being a 20-year-old, you don't usually have an extra $260 a month, but sometimes you can just pull in your spending a little bit and have almost that much. Maybe it's only 100, but whatever it is, to just start funneling that away and don't ever touch it. That's how you're going to become independently wealthy when you're older. It's a big deal. Because then on the other hand, if you're 45, okay, my age, and if you haven't saved anything, let's say you still want that goal of $1 million by age 65, now you need to start saving $2,000 a month. Well, I don't save $2,000 a month. I don't have that right now. I'm definitely not able to put away $2,000 a month. So I'm probably not going to be a millionaire. Yeah. But I will say I'm trying, and I started saving before I was 45. So I probably started saving when I was 30. So I am on my way. But I liked that. Also wanted to look at this thing called compound returns. So that's what we're talking about with that would you rather question. Compound returns is this thing we talked about before, compound interest. The more you save, all the interest that you get goes back into the savings. So you make interest on more and more and more money in it, and it snowballs in a really good way. The other reason people don't save enough for retirement is because they don't make it a priority. Savings is a habit. That's what we said in the notes the other day. If it automatically comes out of your paycheck, that's the best way to do it. Have an automatic thing that goes into your savings account. I have that for mine, so that every month a certain amount goes right into my savings. Doesn't mean it's gone, but it goes right into my savings. So I know, and then I will take that chunk and actually invest it in something. So for instance, 60% of workers live paycheck to paycheck and have an average of $5,500 of credit card debt. We'll be talking about that later as well. Credit card debt is terrible. The percentage of interest that you pay on a credit card balance if you don't pay it off every month is ginormous. And you do not want that. People should save a fixed amount of their income for retirement every month. The minimum that you should save, and I think, Joe, you may have alluded to this in your answers on one of your notes, is 5% of your income. That's a really good bar to follow, because then it doesn't matter what you make, you're going to save 5% of that. So it doesn't, maybe $260 is too much. That might not be what you can afford, but everyone should be able to afford 5% of their monthly income. All right, and then as you decrease your debt, you should increase that percent. So let's say you do have debt. Maybe you have student loans, maybe you're paying off something, paying off a credit card. You have to pay yourself before you can start increasing that amount. The recommended amount is 15% of your income. So I should be saving 15% or more, especially because I'm older. And the last reason people fail to save is they think Social Security is going to be a thing. We saw that in the notes the other day. People think Social Security is going to run out by 2034. That's going to make you guys in your 30s. You are not going to be collecting it. It is very possible you will never collect it. So you cannot rely on that as like, oh, I'll have that when I retire. Plus, the benefits for Social Security is very small, $1,400 a month, and that doesn't really add up to much at all. Okay, so go ahead and answer these questions. It's in classwork. And we'll catch you back here tomorrow.